If you're new here, I'm Lily. I'm a tattoo artist turned app designer, and I'm here to give you some portfolio tips. Hey ladies and gentlemen! Today we're going to be talking about something that's highly requested by you guys. You guys just would not stop talking about this. This is all you want to know. This is all I am to you. Wow. Thanks. How to bullshit on your resume. I'm kidding. Portfolios, yay! Design portfolio tips. How to make it super artsy, unique, stand out from the crowd. Maybe you're applying to a uni course. Maybe you're just applying to jobs. I'm gonna give you some tips. Part of me feels like I'm not really qualified to be giving advice on this because I'm a junior and I've been doing this for like 6 months. The other part of me feels like maybe I got a little something to say. The super awesome portfolio that I made did get me a job within like 3 months when I had no practical work experience in that field. I get it. Designing your first portfolio can be confusing because you've got to make sure it stands out from the crowd, it shows off all your skills, it doesn't leave anything out, but it's not got so much information in it that the person who opens it's just going to be like, yeah, I'm not going to read all that. Delete. You are up against people who have just as good, if not better designs than you, so you got to make it stand out. In an ideal world, you'd be able to make a portfolio for every single job you're applying to and like customize it for each, but who has the time for that? Not me, not you. So we got to make something that's practical, you know, that we can send out to multiple people without losing our message. First of all, figure out what you're going to make it on. Are we doing a Behance portfolio, a Dribbble portfolio? Are you making a mini website page for yourself? Are you just making it on like a PowerPoint presentation? Figure it out. Next, I want you to think about the job you're applying for and your personality, your style. If you're applying to somewhere super corporate, then yeah, you're gonna wanna tone it down on your portfolio and your CV. But if you're looking for a kind of job where it's fun to work in, fun colleagues who are really creative, then you wanna reflect that in your portfolio as well. You can maybe make it a bit like scrapbooky or something to show like your workings, almost like a journal. Think about how you're gonna convey you, your personal style, and your way of working. Keep that in the back of your mind the entire time you're thinking of your concepts, your workings, and your presentation. The best way to understand what a portfolio should look like is by looking at other designers' CVs. So LinkedIn, UX designer, graphic designer, go to their little about section, find their CV, and like just look at like hundreds of them and see the ones that you like the best. This will give you a great idea of what needs to be included and what you should leave out. Obviously don't copy their CVs, but taking guidance of what needs to be included is perfectly fine. If you don't have any work to show, we're gonna have to come up with some designs. Think about your daily life. What's going on in your daily life that annoys you? You know what pisses me off? I keep buying repeat ingredients for my cupboard, for my pantry. I keep going to the shop and being like, do I have oregano? And then I buy more oregano and I come back and I realize I already have 3 oreganos, okay? That's annoying. So I thought to myself, a little app that keeps track of what stock you've got in your groceries. That's what user experience is. That's what design is. Good design solves a problem. So think about the problems that you actually have in daily life and then maybe design a concept around that. Once you've got your concept in your head, for instance, I have a video where I made a plant buying and trading app in your local area, like Facebook Marketplace, but for plants. That wasn't in my portfolio. That was just a fun little side thing. Like, you just gotta see what inspiration hits you and then create a concept around it. And then you wanna do a little bit of research into the market, what's currently out there already. Going on the app store and typing in like that kind of app and seeing what's already out there and seeing if there's any gaps. I mean, there doesn't have to be a gap for you to create something, but it shows that you're thinking more about than just making a pretty UI. A lot of the UIs you see on like Dribbble or Pinterest, that's all they are. They're pretty to look at. They don't actually have any practical use or functionality. It needs to be clear for anyone to use, and also look into your AA and AAA accessibility requirements and make sure that it kind of fits into that. My other tip would be go into your environment and see like the way people use the things around them, like a door. Once you get into this mindset of like design thinking, everything feels like a user experience. Everything feels like design. Like this thing. Could this have been designed to look less like a butt plug? Maybe. But so you've got your concept, you've done your theory, and then we get to the stealing part. Every great artist steals. This is the point where you're gonna make your own design to put on your portfolio, and you're gonna wanna write a piece about the steps that you took and the challenges that you faced and how you overcame them. Add a little spice. Give it some frills. Get designing. Add your personal taste, your personality. Show your personal style through your portfolio, because the people who matter will like it. I would say show a broad range of what you can do, from the more artsy stuff to the research side and the theory side of things. Okay, lastly, we're gonna finish with a little bit of a Q&A. You guys asked me some questions around my portfolio. What did you do for your case studies on your portfolio? Did you just come up with the designs for ideas, or did you also do the research, ideation, and coding aspects too? For my portfolio, I had mostly just concept designs because I didn't have any work experience in UX for the job. I came up with a design in my head, like a home bar. So you would input the alcohols that you had, and it would like suggest you a cocktail that you could make every night with those ingredients. So yeah, when I was making this home bar app concept, it was really just like a few concept screens showing a little bit of like the motion animation. How long did it take to finish your portfolio? Ready to send out? Probably like 2 months, 2.5 months. How many projects were in your portfolio? Well, I had 5. I really was only like truly proud and confident in 3 of them, so I scrapped the other 2 and just went with the best. I think you should cut it down and keep only the best in if you can. Have you got any recommendations of how to like package and present your portfolio? I had mine in a Keynote presentation in like a file that I just linked to an email to send. I honestly think having like your own website is super professional looking. It really only works if you have like solid examples of work that you've done and been paid to do. How would you run through your portfolio in an interview? That's a good question. I don't know the answer to that really. Personally, I really just walked them through and like did a little show off. This was my idea. I'm really proud of this. I hope you like it. If I was gonna like actually sit down and like think and use my fucking brain and give you a recommendation for that, I would say be honest. Don't pretend like you knew what you were doing the entire time. Be honest if you asked for help. Be honest if you took inspiration from certain resources. Be humble. Tell them about the shit that went wrong and what you did to fix it. Don't tell them just the shit that went wrong, okay? You need a solution in there somewhere. Don't be afraid to show that, you know, it wasn't a perfect process and you are learning every day. I think people really appreciate that realness, that authenticity. Oh, this is a really good one. So I would love to hear more about your portfolio. What was it like at first? And then when you got like advice and tips on how to change it and improve it, what was it like after that? So actually, let me get the fucking email. Let me get the receipts up. Okay, an OG email from one of the people who gave me some of the best advice for my portfolio that led me to revising it and coming up with something way better. He says, I'm gonna give you some pointers down below. What we usually look for in a design candidate is a portfolio of some varieties of work. It doesn't have to be a lot, but the variety helps us better understand how much thought and knowledge you are building in this field. A good starting point is experimenting with apps or websites or art or designs that you perhaps like and redoing their design in ways you think that would work better, or simply to present an alternative. Second point, make sure to keep the distribution of your artistic elements on the screen balanced, so you will not end up having one corner too heavy with information while the other remains empty. A good way is to block out silhouettes and see like where the imbalances lie. Always think of practicality and functionality over extra details. Take inspiration from designs that you like, but don't copy them, or you will embed their mistakes as well. Make sure the colors always work well and the contrast is like okay for people with different sight and reading levels. Remember to step back, look at your work and ask yourself with fresh eyes, does it read well? Is the UI fighting for attention over the app or the website? Is it legible? And finally, when applying for a job in design, make sure that you list everything pertinent to the job you're applying for. I often see people writing years of working in Tesco, sales, and so on. While this is commendable, it does not help me to make a decision on whether this person will do a good job at being an artist. You can add personal experience, of course, but be sensible. And that was the advice that I took on to fix my portfolio, make it better. Like, I cannot thank him enough for his advice. He gave me that advice for free. Like, he took the time out of his day to write that down for me just because I asked for help. That is like the key. Go ask for help from people. I know asking for advice can be super painful and awkward and weird and uncomfortable. but only the first few times. Like, you just gotta do it. All the advice I've given you in this video, every fucking thing I've said, put it in the bin if you're not gonna reach out to anyone for help or constructive criticism. That's the be all and end all. Okay, thanks for watching. I don't really have any more advice to give. If you have more comments, please put them in the questions below. And if you were hoping to see my portfolio, I'm very sorry. I'm just talking through it. Yeah, I don't really feel like putting up my portfolio online for thousands of strangers to see and judge. I already do that enough myself. Yeah, I don't have anything else to say. I'm gonna go now. Bye!